Yeah.
And he's driving just as a normal, everyday thing for him. He's an old guy who lives in New York, seen it all. But that was really cool. It felt like one of the comic books, like the unified Marvel universe for the first time. One of the movies, I think.
What I like is that it picked up right where Ragnarok ended.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you get your look at the right at the beginning. You get your first look at the Black Order.
Who look amazing in this film.
Yeah, missing one member from what I could tell. I need to see it again.
So, what?
It went by so fast. As far as I know, there are five original. The five original Black Order were Corvus Glaive, Supergiant,
Prox-
Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, and Black Dwarf. And then they got what Black Swan later on, and
yeah.
who's the other one?
So Black Dwarf, Corvus Glaive, Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight, and Supergiant are the original members. That's the first version. Then Corvus Glaive's version was him and the Coven, which were three unnamed witches. Then you had Thanos. Then you had Black Swan come in, and then the Challengers version, which is the version that was currently in the Avengers No Surrender book, which was Black Dwarf, Black Swan, Corvus Glaive, Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight, and Supergiant.
Oh, sorry, the dogs were barking, so I had to cut my mic for a second.
That's fine. Yeah, so really, I mean, what in the movie it was in the movie you got Corvus Glaive, you got Ebony
Yeah,
Maw,
Black Dwarf.
and they changed. I think they instead of him being a Black Dwarf, they called him Call Obsidian. Yeah, but they looked amazing in the movie. I mean, Ebony Maw looked freaking fantastic. I liked the kind of the changes that I like the changes that they made from comic to movie for the characters. Like Proxima Midnight's headdress, that she normally wears, was more like bony protrusions from her head, but they
Yeah,
were
it's like
still,
part of her body.
yeah, but still the same. Um, here's the thing that I was
Well, I
thinking.
mean, speaking of that, before we go on, as far as adapting it from the comics, like we've always said on this show, it's a different. In the Marvel multiverse, it's got its own designation. The Marvel MCU has its own designation,
Yeah,
and everything that happens is the history writing itself as you watch it. There is no canon for these movies. They're being made now. It's a brand new storyline and its own timeline within the Marvel universe.
yeah. So I'll put this right up there. You know, spoiler alert is in effect because there is going to be spoilers in this talk. So if you haven't seen the Avengers movies, you might want to go ahead and fast forward because there are going to be spoilers coming.
Yeah. Well, this will be like 2.5 weeks out too. So I mean, we're pretty safe. But just in case you haven't seen it,
Yeah. So picking up right where Ragnarok left off, I mean, it starts off. It's not like most movies where it's like slow and then you build to the action. This was action from the very beginning, and I'm gonna say this was not an Avengers movie. This was not an Avengers movie. This was a Thanos movie. This
yeah. Well, it
in
was
this was
you kind
more
of you
like,
got to know him, like
yeah,
who he is.
but this was more like the Thanos, this was like Thanos with the Avengers as the backup, as like the supporting roles. This was more about who Thanos is because we've caught glimpses of Thanos throughout the MCU, but nothing like what we got in this film.
Well, and what a disturbing idea of fatherhood he has with the two girls. Like he's twisting his own daughter apart or having it done in that machine
Nebula, yeah,
to get Gamora to go along with them, and so it's like he clearly prefers one daughter over the other. It's clearly favoritism. It's kind of a movie about his twisted fatherhood.
Yeah.
to the two girls.
Well, it's his fatherhood, his sense of righteousness, his sense of what the universe should actually be. This is his story, and that's what I love about this. Is even though it's Avengers, this is Thanos' story, and it's very much everything about him and his journey with the Avengers just thrown in. But to start off with a Thanos versus Hulk fight.
Yeah, that's the one I was wanting in Hickman's Infinity. I waited the whole series for the finale where the Hulk would finally be brought to Thanos, and what happens in Infinity is, well, Thanos, if he has Thanos wears a thing that gives him a, like, complete, he's covered completely in this kind of cosmic force field all around his body, so he's almost impossible to get close to. And they basically drop the Hulk on him in Infinity, and Thanos just swats the Hulk halfway around the globe with one hand, and you don't see the Hulk again. The Hulk doesn't fight him again. But in this, you finally got the slugfest between the Hulk and Thanos that I wanted in the comic. And it doesn't last very long, but I mean, it's poignant to the movie. There's a reason why it happens. With the Hulk actually being scared for the first time and refusing to come out.
Yeah, which led to great, which actually was, I liked it because it allowed us to have a little bit more Banner, and for Banner to have to step up and be the hero instead of the Hulk.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. But it also, the fight also, remember Thanos at that point, he also had the Power Stone. So his power was also augmented because he had one of the Infinity Stones already, had the Power Stone.
Yeah.
But him slugging with Hulk was fantastic. I mean, the fights in this, I'll tell you, the fight scenes in this movie are fantastic, and the way that it really did feel like a comic book because it wasn't just punch, punch, punch. All the heroes used their signatures, their powers, the way you would see them using them in a comic book. You know, Doctor Strange is using magic and making portals and dropping people through portals. You know, Cap is using his Cap's punching the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, power moves, man. The Peter Quill running on Doctor Strange's magic platforms he was building.
Yeah.
And shooting the gun, that was pretty cool. And I love how it started out when you first see the Thanos' ship gets to Earth. When they first come to New York and Spider-Man's on the school bus, it started out almost like the way a comic would. There's a disaster, and you see all the heroes kind of take notice of the disaster and come in from all the different, come in to deal with it from different angles. And that's like when you get like the special guest appearance by Spider-Man or something.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. You saw some of the heroes react to what was going on in New York, and then Spider-Man's on the bus and climbs out the window and goes. And it was kind of like how an attack on New York in the comic books would go down.
And I like that the hairs on Spider-Man's arms stood up for the spider sense.
Yeah.
You know, I liked the first time you saw Doctor Strange and Wong in this, that Doctor Strange is going out to get food and Wong has no money. He's like, wait a minute, I have 100 rupees. They're like, how much is that? Like $1.25. You know, and then
you
Banner
seriously have no money.
And then Banner just crashes through because they're able to use, Heimdall's able to use the last bit of the Bifrost to send Banner to Earth. But there's so many different paths in this movie, but they mesh so well. Like Hulk, this is you've got Thanos' journey, but you also have Thor's journey, which is kind of it is a continuation of Ragnarok.
Yeah, it's definitely if anything, it's a lot to do. Thor is the centerpiece of it, I think. As far as the heroes go.
Yeah,
the Thanos, they do focus a lot on Thanos and everything, but really, a lot of this has to do with Thor wanting revenge for Asgard on Thanos.
Yeah,
and he needs a Thanos killing weapon.
Yeah,
because Mjolnir was decimated by Hela in the last movie. He doesn't have it. Yeah,
but all the super, and we'll get more in that in a little bit, but all the superheroes, you know, Doctor Strange's cape was working. Iron Man, and now this is what's interesting about Iron Man in this one, is he's now using the nanotech.
Yeah, that was pretty cool actually.
Which is an evolution. Iron Man is always evolving the armor, so that's why I kind of like that throughout all the movies. Is the armor evolves throughout every movie that he's in.
Yeah, well, you got a little bit like he's with Pepper, and when he gets called up, and they're talking about he's got the little arc reactor thing he's wearing still, and they're arguing about it, and he's like saying he just wanted to be prepared, and then he ends up getting sucked into all this again.
Yeah.
And he has a conversation with her where she's just kind of pissed that he's dealing with any of it.
Did you know? I don't know if you noticed. I kind of noticed it a little bit that Scarlet Witch didn't have her accent like she did in past
Yeah,
movies.
yeah, that was. I've seen a couple articles talking about where her accent went.
And I mean that's kind of like the two things. Like she doesn't have her accent. Black Widow is a blonde now, which kind of threw people off.
Yeah, I didn't mind that so much. I guess
didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. I'm just saying it kind of throws you off a little bit when you look.
I'm kind of glad she ditched the accent because I thought it didn't really sound that natural anyway.
No.
Kind of glad she's just.
And I think she is a fantastic. I think Elizabeth Olsen is a fantastic actress.
She blows her two sisters away.
Blows her sisters out of the water. I like that they brought in the romance with her and Vision.
Yeah, that's one thing I thought was kind of cool because I mean that's a well established relationship in Marvel Universe.
Very well established. Cap is not really. A lot of people, if you don't read the comics, a lot of people are like that's Captain America, but really this was not really Captain America in this movie. This was
more like Shield Cap.
This was Nomad. This was more Nomad when he took on the Nomad persona. With the beard,
he didn't have the little mask.
Yeah, he didn't have the little mask, but he didn't have the shield. He just used his power. He had the beard. It was more nomadish, which I liked. Falcon looked amazing and using his skills. And even Bucky and this is why I'm hoping that the rumor that maybe Frank and Daredevil will be in the next one is because I want a scene of Bucky and Frank just mowing people down with automatic weapons.
He did say, talking like after Avengers 4, possibly after the Fox deal moves further along, that they might be able to use Fantastic Four and the X-Men.
I've also been hearing...
let's do that.
And I've also been hearing Adam Warlock will not be making an appearance in the next Infinity movie.
That makes absolutely no sense at all.
He'll be in Guardians 3, but Adam Warlock will not be in the Infinity War movies.
That makes zero sense to me. But whatever. We'll see how it pans out. There's going to be I don't know. It seems to be they're taking elements from a whole bunch of different Thanos stories and Avengers stories. So who knows what the fuck Avengers 4 is going to be. I hear Chris Evans is leaving the franchise after the next one.
Well, to kind of skip ahead a little bit, what I really like about this is those of us who have read the comics, we kind of know the Time Stone may play a factor in the next one. It's going to play a big factor to kind of reset things.
Well, it did already play a factor in resetting. We know it can be used to bring back the dead because they did it with Vision in the movie.
Yeah. So, from what I'm hearing, this is going to be the next Avengers movie is going to be kind of like a soft reset of the MCU. It's going to basically soft reset the whole MCU, which will allow for more movies, more characters, story arcs, maybe even changing the look of characters because they're rebooting.
So are we going to get Sam Wilson step up as Cap if Chris Evans leaves?
That would be cool. I think what you told me, Chris Hemsworth said he'll play Thor as long as they want him to play Thor.
From what I read, Hemsworth says he wants a Thor 4 and he's pushing for one. So we'll see how that pans out. So I guess Thor will be sticking around. But I don't know. The only people I heard that absolutely said they're done are I think Downey said he's out, and Chris Evans said he wants to leave, stop being Captain America. But
maybe he wants to go
Downey
back
said he wanted to be out 2 movies ago, so we'll see what happens.
Maybe Evans wants to go back to be Johnny Storm.
That would be well. If they bring in the Fantastic Four, you could just switch characters.
Yeah, that'd be great. But with Infinity War, I think all the characters were done well. I loved Black Panther in the movie. I loved Wakanda in the movie. I love that Wakanda was the battleground. because it
Yeah.
allowed them to have this epic battle.
Well, there's talk also